Reese, my brother Reese.
Reese.
The homie Reese, you already know, man. It's Taylor Gang or Die.
Who you with?
Reese.
Yeah. Who you with?
Who you with?
Yes, we are back at it. Got Shanese back in the building. We talked about 60 days in last time. Well, you got locked up.
I did. It's very common right now.
Voluntarily. No, not for you. You were voluntary. Everybody else will get locked up.
Facts.
Right. Well, not everybody. There's a lot of innocent people out here getting locked up, but you went in on your own recognizance.
I did. That was crazy.
For a TV show. And we kind of talked about that a little bit. But now you've since put out all of this content. You're helping others live their dream. You helping me live my dream. Just hook me up with some journals and some books for actors and stuff. We're going to talk about that too. But we also have to talk about delayed. Yes. We got to talk about that. Delayed justice is what I'm speaking of right now. She has a feature film coming out. Got my boy voice on the trailer. Sounded like the man from State Farm. Boy, Twan put his Ving Rhames on there. But let's get right into it. This lovely woman right here had a great story she shared with us last time we kind of got together, and now she's on this journey of helping people live their dreams through production.
Yes. So actually, Delayed Justice is a part of a web series that we are working on, and it is episode 5. The conversation series really came about from me dealing with my own trauma and learning to turn my trauma into drama, and then being an educator for at-risk youth for so many years.
Yes.
I heard a lot of stories, and one of the things that I think that differentiated me between other educators is I would work with the at-risk youth, and I wouldn't ask like, oh, what's wrong with you? I would ask, what happened to you? Why are you this way?
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of people, they lacked the people or the support system to have those conversations with. And so I started the conversation series, and we started it actually in 2021 when we had the first episode, which was about the snitching mentality. And then we started in 2023, we did Daddy Knows Best, which is about body positivity and how a lot of our young African-American women especially are literally dying to fit in with the BBL culture and the breast augmentation. And then episode 3 that we did, Unprotected, was about living through those childhood traumas and getting through that so you can fulfill your dreams and your goals. And then the next episode, which gets us to Delayed Justice, is Untold Truths, and it's about racism and how there are innocent people that are locked up. I mean, when I was on 60 Days In, I'm sure, according to the Innocence Project, 2% of the people that are incarcerated are innocent. So I know I was in there with somebody that was innocent. And so with the previous episode, it kind of dove into why the person lied and put this person in jail. So it was kind of like, this is what's going on. This is why. And so then in the conversation Delayed Justice, we see Bernard, who's been incarcerated for 25 years for raping, quote unquote, raping a Caucasian woman, and he really didn't do it.
Right.
We see him go through the trials and tribulations. You're excited, you're scared. Like, wait a minute, I don't know what to do out there. Like, how am I going to do this? And so that is what the conversation series is. The next episode is basically kind of my life. It's about a defective woman. It's about the things that African-American women go through to conceive a child. I can't have children because of my autoimmune diseases.
Right.
And so how does that affect your relationships with your loved ones and your spouse, your mental, your everything? And so that's kind of the conversation series.
I got you. And it really opens up the doors to have those tough conversations through an entertainment glass or a camera lens.
Yeah, definitely.
I like when you say in confidence, defective woman. Can you define that? And the reason I say I like it is because you're owning a term that could be perceived as negative, but you're making it into a way that that's palatable for people who may not really get it.
Yeah. So when I was first diagnosed with celiac disease and found out that I could not have children, I went through a mirage of feelings. I felt like I was in a relationship and that relationship ended because that gentleman wanted to have children and I could not do that with him for the natural way. So I felt as if nobody's ever going to want me. Like, I wrote a monologue that kind of made me want to do this film. And it's like, who goes into the furniture store and asks for something that they know is broken? Who goes in there and says, hey, I want that couch with 3 legs?
You know, I actually do that because I want the discount.
You know what? See, you're special though.
I look for the dented cans. I'm like, hey, can I get this half off?
See, for a can though, but for a woman. And so it was basically just kind of going through the mindset of what we go through is, you know, is anybody ever going to love me? Is this going to happen? You know, one of the reasons I've been single for 7 years is because I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want you to say that you're okay when not having kids and something happens. And so in a way, I do feel like I'm defective, but I'm still a great catch and I still have a lot to offer. But in the realm of what families and what people want when they get married and want to have kids, I can't provide that the traditional way.
But there are so many other ways to have that. You can adopt, you can have somebody that has kids already. You could be the rich auntie. It's so many ways to establish that family dynamic and still feel fulfilled. So it seems almost like a disservice for a man to throw out the option, an opportunity to be with an amazing human being just because traditionally you can't have a child.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, you know, with that particular relationship, because I can't have children, you know, that's one of the things about being an educator is I met a man after he's like, do you have any kids? I was like, oh, I got about 1,500 of them. Because if I was, now I don't know if I want to be a parent with the things that's going on in the world. I feel like my purpose is to give that energy to all of the other kids out there. And so if I had my own kids, I wouldn't be able to dive.
You have to reel back. You have to reel back
because be able to do that.
Yeah, you got to protect your own in certain ways. In certain ways, you got to dial it back.
Exactly.
Those kids are lucky to have you in their life, though, because you're able to empathize with them.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know the crazy part is, I before COVID hit, I was teaching at Gwinnett Tech. And I was teaching adults that were getting their GED. And so there was a gentleman that was in the class and I talked to him about 60 days in. He's like, what? Yeah,
because that's what I said.
He was like, I just got out of prison.
Wow.
And he literally, he was probably 28, 29. He literally wrote me a 3-page letter. And he was like, you know, I know you understand because you've been there. And the fact that, like you said, that you would volunteer to try to go in there and make changes, it speaks volumes to me. And I'm like, well, I guess that is kind of different.
I mean, it makes so much sense. You have just had these reports come out saying that Georgia has deplorable prison system accommodation.
Yes, I saw that.
One of the worst in the United States, if not the worst. They had a person come and do an audit from the U.S. Capitol and do an audit on the prison system, and it's disgusting of what happens in these prisons. And you've been hearing so many different just news breaks about the things that have been happening with corruption and just terrible conditions for the prisoners. Now, some people say, oh, they're locked up. But what did you say? 2% are innocent. Then you have people that have crimes that aren't so violent or aren't so deplorable. You got people that have maybe been trying to steal some food because their kids are starving and they get arrested. Or you may have people dealing with mental health issues that have, you know, gotten incarcerated and just need a second chance. But while they're in there, they're trying to get their life together.
Exactly.
So to be having to deal with that stuff on top of being in jail in the first place, it's a lot.
It is. And the sad part is, as an innocent person that volunteered to go in for 60 days, because of the lack of everything, the lack of health care, the lack of care, when I left, my thyroid levels were 7 times higher than they should have been. And I had to have a thyroidectomy and have my thyroid removed in 2021. And it has been life-changing. Do I blame 60 days in? No. Do I blame the jail? Yes. Because they gave me foods that they knew that I was allergic to. And a lot of people would ask, well, why would you volunteer to go to jail when you knew you had an autoimmune disease? You knew you were allergic to gluten. Because there are people, 1% of the people in the world suffer from celiac disease. And that's the people that know. So that means that people in that jail have that disease. So most normal people, sane people wouldn't do that. But who's going to fight for the people? Yes, they're incarcerated, but there are innocent people. There are a lot of people in there that just, again, they lack the conversations to have with people. A lot of them, they lack. I asked a lot of them, why do you keep coming back here? Why is the recidivism rate so high? Well, I mean, I need somebody to feed me. I need to shower. I need this. And I'm like, you know, well, you can't create that yourself. And a lot of them, they don't. and they don't have the mental health. And then going into that facility in a lot of these jails, they don't provide that. They don't provide mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that I saw, I'm going to be honest with you, Reese, it still affects me. I still have PTSD from some of the horrific things that I've watched. I still cannot even fully finish watching my season because I'm seeing it
It's
and
triggering.
It looks horrible on TV, but I lived it.
Wow. How are you able to get through this web series? Because you're going back into the prison in one way, shape, or form to shoot these scenes.
You know what? I told Antoine, I said it has been hard. It's very emotionally, just to go back to some of those hard places and cover those hard topics. But I feel like in our entertainment and everything now is about sex, drugs, music, and a lot of lack of quality. And
a lot of things that can land you in these situations that you're filming.
Exactly. So I am the sacrificial lamb, I guess I'll say. And it's hard. I've had a lot of lonely nights and days because in order to go into that deep, dark space, I'm writing these films. I'm directing these films. I'm producing these films.
Right.
The last episode, I'm in it as well as an actress. And so I've had to get a little counseling sometimes because just going to those deep, dark places and unpacking all of that, it's difficult, but it's needed.
Yeah,
it's needed.
I can imagine. I've been in some traumatic experiences as well, and the smallest things can trigger thoughts of those or make you have dreams about it at night. So it feels good to hear you talk about, I'm going to go ahead and get out here and get some counseling too, get some therapy too, so I can continue to make these pieces that affect and move the culture forward. Because that, in all, that's what it's doing. It's helping everybody move forward.
Yeah. It's crazy when we did Daddy Knows Best. You never know the feedback when you share your art. Erykah Badu say I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about mine. So when you do that, you never know what you're going to get back from it. And I remember a father, he wrote me on YouTube and he was like, man, thank you so much for doing this movie. He was like, because my daughter, she suffers with body positivity issues. And I realized I've been coming at her all wrong with the way I'm talking to her. And you kind of gave me another way to kind of talk to her. And I'm like, I did that. Let it well be. Oh my goodness.
Changing lives. So that makes me want to watch these. I have teenage daughters and I have a small daughter, but as a dad that may not have that constant female influence just in my house, you want to have a balance in your conversation to let you know I mean well with my conversation, but it may not be delivered the right way.
Exactly. And so that's the thing is, just trying to find those different ways. I mean, when I first started doing these productions, they weren't doing well in the film festival world. But, one of the things I want everybody to know is don't be afraid to learn. I decided I have a master's degree in marketing. I decided, okay, my films aren't doing well. I'm missing something. I'm not able to, build these characters the way I want. I'm not able to pull on your heartstrings. So I'm in school now getting my master's in screenwriting and directing just so I can get the knowledge to really be able to penetrate the people that
that's
I want
it.
to.
I like that. Dive deeper into your craft.
Exactly.
Let's get better and let's keep growing. There's nothing wrong with failure if you learn from it.
That is true. True.
So tell us what other things you got on the horizon that Classy Creations is coming up with. That's their production company.
Well, actually, it's so funny because I was thinking about you.
Okay.
Because we a couple weeks ago we had we're doing a feature film called Accidental Side Chick. And of course, the title always gets people like, wait a minute, how can you be an accidental?
How can you be accidental?
Chick? Like what? But you can be.
Because black men don't cheat. That's why it's an accident.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But no, I was, we're working on that. And it's so funny because after we had the table read, one of the producers was like, I think we need to, add some more scenes with the people that are, the main characters and the friend. And I was talking to Antoine, I was like, you think Reese will want to play Jason in here?
Let's do it. Let me beat Jason.
Yeah, you can be. I said, well, can he play pool? He was like, I don't know. I said, well, that's good because he needs to suck at pool.
Okay.
Somebody else.
I can act like I can't play.
Okay, we can do that. But yeah, so the thing about it is, I attend a Christian university because I am a Christian, and so I am interested in not necessarily having content that's constantly like, go to God, pray here, listen to this the Bible verse, and so I try to use my creativity to reach the people. And so that's one of the projects that we're working on with the conversation series. It's a 10 episode series, and we are only on episode 5, so we are looking for investors, executive producers, cinematographers, and all of the above in the Atlanta area, so we can grow faster, because my money is starting to run out, and I need a little help.
It's nothing wrong with asking for it, especially when you got a viable product. So we're gonna try to bridge some of those gaps too.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that we're working on. We have I've written over 70 scripts, just trying to find the right place, trying to find a literary manager to kind of help me navigate through that world. And one of my main things is I'm a homebody, and I realize in this industry you cannot sit your butt at home. You got to get out there and network and meet different people. And so that's one of the things I'm doing now, is just going to different events. And we've had our film in over 83 film festivals. We've won 2 global film awards. And so just trying to keep pushing and meeting people that want to be a part of the vision, that can help us grow and get better and make this a bigger thing, so we can get it on streaming platforms.
And also help everybody in between, from both in front and behind the camera.
Definitely. And you know what's so crazy? I'm glad you said that. God works in mysterious ways, because a lot of times when I cast somebody, I don't know what they're going through in their personal life. In every single conversation series, every single one from the first one, somebody that I cast was dealing with something in that movie. And it was just amazing. From the first one, the lead character, she was really into it. And I didn't know that she had a family member that had just been murdered and nobody was speaking up. And so it's just amazing. And they're like, this is therapeutic for us. So yeah, it's hard, but art is hard. And it can be, like you said, it can be therapeutic and makes them think and start having conversations with people in their families and friends.
That's what it's all about. Getting people to start opening up and having those tough conversations so we can get some healing.
Exactly. Because we need it. I mean, right now it's in hard times.
We are very much so.
It's just a lot. And it's, we got to figure out a way to get through it, because we got to get through it so we can get to it, as my auntie Jackie says, and we got to do that. And so I think that's what my goal with my art is, to just help people realize that they can get through it. I got through it. I mean, I've dealt with many forms of abuse, right, including sexual. So I got through it, and I can stand here and, my new saying is, I am learning to turn my trauma into drama.
Yeah. And you're a conduit for other people to see that they can also get to it too. Get through it to get to it too. And just to be able to see you thriving is an absolute testimony to who you are. And now you're giving those people something to look up to.
Yes, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Shanice, Classy Creations. Make sure you guys check it out on YouTube and across all social platforms. Tell them where to find you.
Well, I am Drama Queen, but Queen with a K, UEEN 16 on Instagram, Facebook. Classy Creations. I have a unique spelling because I'm a unique person. It's KLAZZY. Creations is KRE, the number 8, because I am a lady of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
There they go. All the pink and green is gonna be in the comments.
See, that's why I wore blue today. That's why I wore blue, because Antoine told me don't wear pink. He said don't wear red. I said I'm gonna be neutral. I'm gonna look like a Sigma Gamma Rho today. Represent my stepmama.
But they all together. Listen, all of them together. They all supposed to do all this community work and everything like that. So we see
it's sisterhood.
Sisterhood at its finest. Thank you for making this content that people can grow from and learn from, and also have a little therapy in the meantime. So not only is she a content creation queen, she's also a counselor. We're gonna get back to this music though. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's been another one, Reach Radio Live.